A Texas man convicted for suffocating and beating a local pastor in his own church during a robbery in 2011 has been executed. The execution of Seven Nelson is the second scheduled execution in the country in 2025 by lethal injection. So how did Nelson find himself in this predicament, and what were his final words? Let's find out. Stephen Lawayne Nelson was born on February 18, 1987, in Ada, Oklahoma. His early years were marred by severe neglect and abuse. His mother often left him alone for days, and his father was largely absent and abusive when present. By the age of 3, Nelson exhibited signs of distress, once attempting to set his mother's bed on fire. His encounters with the law began at 6, involving property crimes, burglaries, thefts, and aggravated assaults. Despite interventions like counseling and probation, his delinquent behavior persisted, leading to his incarceration in high-risk juvenile detention centers. In his teenage years, Nelson's family relocated to Tarrant County, Texas. However, the change in environment did little to alter his trajectory. At 14, he faced charges for unauthorized use of a vehicle, burglary, and criminal trespassing, resulting in an indeterminate sentence at the Texas Youth Commission. Originally slated for 9 months, his stay extended to over 3.5 years due to repeated infractions. By 20, Nelson had been paroled twice, yet his criminal activities continued unabated. On March 3, 2011, Nelson entered the North Point Baptist Church in Arlington, Texas, with the intent to rob. Inside, he encountered Pastor Clint Dobson and church secretary Judy Elliott. Nelson brutally assaulted both. Pastor Dobson was beaten and suffocated with a plastic bag, leading to his death, while Elliott was severely beaten but survived. Nelson fled the scene with stolen items, including Dobson's laptop and Elliott's car keys and credit cards. He was later apprehended after using the stolen credit cards on a shopping spree. While awaiting trial in the Tarrant County Jail, Nelson's violent behavior persisted. On March 19, 2012, he allegedly murdered fellow inmate Jonathan Holden, a mentally ill prisoner. Nelson reportedly fashioned a noose from blankets, coerced Holden into a vulnerable position, and strangled him. Witnesses claimed Nelson celebrated afterward, displaying a disturbing lack of remorse. In October 2012, Nelson stood trial for the capital murder of Pastor Dobson. The prosecution presented compelling evidence, including bloodstains on Nelson's shoes matching the victims and possession of stolen items. Despite Nelson's claims that 2 accomplices were responsible for the murder, the jury found him guilty. During the sentencing phase, the prosecution highlighted Nelson's extensive criminal history and his violent conduct while incarcerated, including the alleged murder of Holden. The defense cited his traumatic upbringing and mental health issues as mitigating factors. Ultimately, Nelson was sentenced to death on October 16, 2012. After years of appeals, all of which were denied, Nelson's execution was scheduled. On February 5, 2025, at the Texas State Penitentiary in Huntsville, Nelson was executed by lethal injection. In his final moments, he expressed love to his wife, stating, "I'm not scared, I'm at peace. Let's ride, Warden." He was pronounced dead at 6:50 p.m. The tragic trajectory of Stephen Lawayne Nelson's life underscores the profound impact of early childhood trauma and the challenges of breaking cycles of violence and criminal behavior.